everybody. I'm going to get on here real quick and get this review done. I got a lot to do today, but I like to do my review and, just try to stay as consistent as I can with them. So, Jim is still playing his games, and finally, Candy, she leaves his room and says she's going to go to the bank to get the money. And Jim is like, he's just being so racist to Hannah. He has her calling him Mr. Jim. And she doesn't want to say it, but she ends up saying him, because she wants to save Benny. And I'm like, Hannah, just knock him out or something. He's at a disadvantage. So just give him a good punch or a good slap or something. It would have been preferable to this. But of course, she was worried about Benny's life, so she complied with what he was saying. And when she leaves the room, she's like, Lord help me. And anyway, after Candace had left, she talked to Mitch, and he said his family got the license plate, and so she leaves with him instead of going to the bank. And so that was how that played out. Oh, and yeah, when Hannah left the room, he was yelling out, and tell that fat security guard he's fired. And I'm like, and the security guard walked away like it was no big deal to him, like he didn't want to be bothered with all that mess anyway. So, back at the jail, Wyatt is taunting Catherine. And, Catherine is still upset over Jim being dead. Well, she thinks he's dead, and Wyatt is assuming he's dead, and that's what he was taunting her with. And so Marty arrives and he tells her we need to talk. And Wyatt's like, aren't you going to get me out too? And I'm like, come on, Wyatt. You can't be that dumb. So, so let's just keep up with Catherine and talk about Catherine and Wyatt and all that. Get that out of the way. So the lawyer, he gives in the interrogation room, he gives Catherine the rundown on everything. And he tells her that Jennifer Salison's family wants to file a wrongful death lawsuit, and he tells her they can come after everything, and he advises her to put her money into a trust so that no one can touch it. So transfer it into a trust, and there it'll be safe. And so she decides on Hannah, which is the only person that Catherine can trust. It's the only friend that she has. And so it makes sense that she would do that. And her lawyer was looking at her kind of like, oh, and so clearly he doesn't know or understand her relationship with Hannah, and that Hannah is her only friend. So, okay, so Wyatt, he's in the jail, and George comes into the jail, and Wyatt is just like under the impression that the immunity would guard him from everything. And George is like, well, you shot your father. You only had immunity for one crime. One crime. One. And not two crimes, just one. And he's not getting it, and he's angry. Oh, you son of a bitch, George. And so Wyatt is in real trouble once again, and there's no way for him to get out of it. And he's saying, well, what if my parents drop the charges, or what are my parents going to press charges? And George is like, it's not in their hands. So Wyatt's in big trouble, and I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. So, so Broderick came down there to see Catherine at the jail, but they wouldn't let him in. She's not ready to see visitors yet. They through the jailing process and all that. There's um, I guess she would have to be formally transferred to the big facility, not just where they hold people. The big facility, and that's when she would be ready to see visitors. And the desk cop, she's like, she's like being real. She's not really here for Broderick trying to see Catherine. She's like, oh, and being real, like not very friendly. What you wouldn't expect the desk cop to be friendly anyway, but that was the best way I could describe her attitude. So Marty, he's leaving, and Broderick is saying, "Well, can I?" He asked him if he can see Catherine, and Marty says, "Well, I'm not going to see her again." Uh, and Broderick gives him his number, but instead of the cell, he gives him the landline because of the cell. So Broderick said his cell service was spotty, so he gave Marty the landline. And Marty recognized that he was staying in the loft, Wyatt's old loft. And Marty was like, he's looking like Marty wasn't sure what was going on. So anyway, that was pretty much what's happening with Catherine and Wyatt. So let's talk about Jeffrey and Madison now. So Jeffrey brings Madison over to David's house, and they go inside, and the cleaning crew is still cleaning up from the crime scene, and I like, there were like all these people got shot and killed in the house. I think it was at least two or three of the thugs that got killed, or Veronica's hired help that got killed. And Jeffrey's just sitting down on the couch like it's no big deal that a crime scene is being cleaned up. And of course, Madison, he's telling him, you know what, this is crazy. You need to get out of this. Get a job and move somewhere. And Jeffrey's like, I have work. I have worked. I used to work for my mom's facility. And like Madison is just like, are you kidding me? He's telling him, he's basically telling him, Jeffrey, that he needs to be more independent. And so all of that ended up leading to Jeffrey taking Madison up to his room, and it's like, so Madison could get some rest. And Madison didn't want to sleep in his scrubs, so Madison just gets naked and climbs in the bed. But before he climbs in the bed, he's just like he's standing up there trying to entice Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's like he's not he doesn't go for it. He's just standing there like he's not phased by it. So Madison gets in the bed with no clothes on, and it's just like, yeah, you could clearly tell what Madison was trying to do. And Jeffrey leaves the room, and he's like, "Damn." So Jeffrey didn't go for it, but he was obviously tempted because the way he said "damn" was like, Okay, so let me just okay. So before I get to the ending, I want to talk about the rest of what happened with Candace. So Candace, she got a chance to talk to Benny, and he says, I'm still being held. I'm still being held, and so she goes to get the money transferred, and before that, she was all impatient, and Mitch was trying to tell her to calm down, and Hannah was Hannah ended up calling the police, and or she was gonna call the police until Candace called her back, and she lied to her about being at the bank, and it was a whole mess. But anyway, Candace did go say she was going to get the money transferred and all of that. Um, so, and the rest of what happened when the whole Benny situation happened at the end of the episode. But let's talk about Veronica. So before David dealt with Veronica, he had a little talk with the Attorney General about Catherine, and the Attorney General said, "Well, we only had a deal about Wyatt. We didn't have one about Catherine, and so I don't." I'm not sure where Catherine's lifeline comes in, but it doesn't look like she has any right now. None are obvious at this point, but you know there are lots of twists and turns with this show, so she'll probably end up with a lifeline pretty soon. So Veronica, she pulls up at David's house and she's taunting him, and she's standing she's standing in the driveway, and because it's a shared one, she can be there and can't be removed by security, and she stays over like the property line so she can taunt David. And so David is obviously antagonized, and Jeffrey comes out the house and he's like, you know what, ignore her. Because she's saying all this thing, you cheat on me, blah, blah, blah. And then she gets a bullhorn and she's hollering through the bullhorn, saying all these things. And, you know, Jeffrey convinces David to just come in the house, and then Madison's up in the window with no shirt on, and he's flipping her off. He's flipping Veronica off. And she's all like, you need to go to the you need to go get fitted for a brawl. What a waste. What a waste. And, you know, I think that she finds Madison attractive because she's saying, what a waste. What a waste. She makes fun of him. She's making fun of him, but she was clearly making remarks about his body and all that. So Madison, he seems to enjoy that, you know, antagonizing Veronica. So David goes in the house and he gets a folder, and Jeffrey's like, Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing? And David goes outside with this red folder and he's saying, I've got this on you. And then she says, well, I have information on you. But David's like, you know what? The both of us can go down. I don't care. At this point, I think he's had it. I mean, when she tried to kill Jeffrey, you know, that really just sealed it. I mean, if he has to bring himself down to take Veronica down, he'll do it. And so she is just acting so ignorant with that bullhorn, and she can't talk about Quita or anybody else or call anybody else ghetto or anything else, because Veronica is just like really, really ignorant and just no, just no sense of shame or anything. And so at the end, once again, Hannah is, you know, Jim is treating Hannah very racist. And all this Mr. Jim stuff, I was not feeling it. And Tyler Perry could have left that out of the episode because I just didn't like it. It was just a step too far to me. And so the money was not back in the bank within the 2 hour window that Jim wanted. And Hannah's trying to get him to you know to wait, don't hurt my son. And so he calls the guy up and says kill him, and then you hear a gunshot and it sounds like Benny is he's like it's Benny just is like ow or something like that, but I'm pretty sure Benny didn't get shot. So he's probably gonna get rescued. That's just my speculation. But anyway, that was the haves and the have nots. I think I covered about everything. I hope I didn't miss anything, but if I did, just pardon me for that. I was trying to get this done a little bit quicker than I usually get it done in, but that was the episode. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.